Now broadcasting from his hidden bunker and fully stocked bar, it is the Saturday Report with Colt Sebastian Taylor.
Thank you and welcome once again, my friends, to the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor, adventurer, entrepreneur, and amateur pollster. Welcome to AWSM Radio, an independent, digital-only station that plays today's best music, old school classics, along with a rotating cast of all-star DJs. AWSM Radio focuses on Main Street artists, independent artists, along with a variety of interesting talk and music shows throughout the day, like yours truly. All we do here is entertain, inspire, and inform. And my friends, I want you to be part of the conversation. I want you to be part of the show. So find me on Twitter, Instagram, Rizzle at Colt S. Taylor, and catch up with the news that I'm reading online throughout the week at ColtSebastianTaylor.com. Really, ColtSebastianTaylor.com is where you should go for all of my adventures, everything I'm doing. You should just bookmark it, all right? Just saying. All right, my friends, let's get started with this week's Saturday Report. Once again, everyone, it's time for a Kanye West birthday party Yeezy 2020 Road to the White House update. With the last debate concluding this last Thursday, Kanye West did not debate either presidential candidate, not quite reaching that 15% support in 5, 6, 7 major polls, still polling at a respectable 1% nationwide. Now, the big part of this story, why I've been following it for as long as I have been, is that I just find it fascinating on how you can get on to the ballot of some states and not on the ballot of other states. And that's been, of course, the spectacle of Kanye West trying to run for president. He did release one ad, which was weird. But he has gotten on certain states. And if you live, my friends, in these states, you will see Kanye West, rapper, producer, and fashion designer from Illinois, appear on your ballot and you can vote for him. And with 30 million people having already voted, chances are there's at least a few people who said, yeah, Kanye West. Yeah, I dig that for president, and have put him in. And I am not kidding, my friends. I'm going to be looking over these results. I don't even know what state will he get the most votes in. I don't know. I honestly don't know. All right, let me read to you the states that he is on the ballot in. So his name will appear printed on the ballot. This will be in Vermont, Minnesota, Iowa, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, that's Utah, Colorado, and Idaho, okay? And I don't know what state will he get the most votes in. I mean, he's from Illinois, he's not on the ballot, so one would think that maybe Iowa or, Minnesota, closest to Illinois, will get the most. Maybe Louisiana has a lot of cities where he might have a lot of support. It's hard. I don't know which one will get the most and which one will get the least, but I will look that up the week after the election and let you know what I find. So will be on the ballot in those states, but he has write-in access in other states, which I think is interesting. So basically, in some states, if you write someone's name in, it's counted. In other states, if you write someone's name in, it only counts if they submit paperwork to the state that say, hey, if someone writes in my name, count it. And in other states, they don't count any write-in ballot votes at all. So it's a very mismatch system of where you have write-in ballot access and where you don't. Some states, everyone's welcome. Other states, let us know. In other states, no thank you. So in addition to the states where he'll be on the ballot, you can write his name in and it will officially be counted in New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, that's Alabama, Wyoming, Oregon, and Wisconsin. So again, with 30 million people having voted, chances are at least one person has written in his name to the president. His vice presidential candidate running with him is someone named Michelle Thibault, who does not have a picture on Wikipedia, and this person is a preacher from Wyoming, so I would hazard to guess he'll get at least one write-in vote from Wyoming. If he doesn't, that would be kind of funny. So there'll be one more weekend before the presidential election. And my friends, if you need to get out there and vote. If you're in a state where you can vote early, vote early. If you have a mail-in ballot, mail it today or drop it off at your county board of elections. You should check to see with your what your local laws are, because it's different in every state. But it's very important to vote. I myself, being a judge of elections, will be working the polling day here in Pennsylvania, making sure everything goes well with voting. And I'll offer you my little story here in 2 weeks and how it goes. But figure out your voting plan. Get ready to vote, because it's a very important election. Kanye West is depending on you. We now move to Utah, where you can vote for Kanye West there, just as a reminder, where Holly Courtier was found after 12 days in a Utah national park. Utah has lots of great national parks. Also dangerous to kind of get lost out there. Apparently she had no food or water for 12 days in this national park. She went out there, went hiking, and then I guess got lost, was found by search and rescue party members, and safely was able to come home. Usually that story ends very tragically, but they were able to find her and bring her back. However, apparently, in the last few days, there have been some discrepancies in her story. She says that she was able to live out there for 12 days without any food or water. Authorities find that a little bit fanciful because, 12 days without water is not something most people can do. 12 days, sure. 12 days without water, not so much. Food you can do, water you kind of need. She apparently set up camp near a river, which authorities say, hey, that's great, but the river is so toxic, unless she has like an immune system like Wolverine, she would have been really, really sick drinking that water. And she was able to leave the park under her own power, and her relatives felt like she did not need to go to the hospital. So there's some questions of what exactly went on here. She says that she just wetted her lips and drank that water to keep her from dehydrating in the 12 days. She did lose like 15 pounds, so she definitely wasn't eating that much, but there's still some questions of how she managed to survive. A relative said that she's a very experienced hiker. She hikes all the time. She's a very experienced hiker. A relative told CNN that she had hit her head on a branch and became disoriented. Again, not a whole lot of evidence of that. Not quite sure what's going on here. However, her sister has said that she left to go hiking in a very distressed state, that she was going to go find herself. Apparently, because of COVID-19, she had lost her job and was a little stressed out about that. And apparently, she has checked herself into a mental wellness facility. So it does seem to be that maybe she kind of wandered off, had kind of a minor mental breakdown, wandered off into the Utah National Park, didn't really tell anyone where she was going. They were able to find her and bring her back. They still don't know how she was able to survive 12 days without any water. So authorities think that maybe she brought a lot of water with her and discarded it throughout the process and then was found. There's no charges being pressed. She might have had a legitimate mental issue and had a break and went out there and was lucky to be found back alive. Plenty of folks go out into the woods with being in mental distress and they don't come back. So I'm glad that they found her and she checked herself in, getting her the mental help that she needs. But you usually don't see someone get lost for 12 days in a park out there in Utah and have them come back. So whatever the reason why she was out there, I'm glad that she managed to make it back. Remember, folks, if you are going out hiking into the woods, tell somebody not going hiking with you where you're going, where you'll be, when you're expected back, and when to expect a call from them. Because, if you're supposed to be back by 6 and no one calls, then they'll send a search party for you. If it's 4 days later, then boy, Jake should have been at work. You might be bear food by then. So it's great advice, folks. Great advice, friends. Tell folks where you are going hiking before you leave. Now, friends, we turn back to the election. It is an election year, and one of the hottest elections going on this year is in Canada, north of a border in Quebec. Viva la Quebec. in the town of Asbestos. Yes, my friends. In Quebec, there is a town named Asbestos. You're probably saying to yourself, Colt, is this town named after asbestos, the cancer-causing mineral that's been used for insulation for years? No, it was banned in 1973 because it caused a lot of lung cancer. Yes, it is. It's named after asbestos. There was a huge asbestos mine there in Quebec. Obviously, it closed down, and in 2018, Canada finally banned anything at all that had asbestos in it, so there's no need for asbestos. So the mine was closed, and this town had been known for years and years and years as asbestos, because it was named after the mineral that gave a lot of people jobs. Well, as you may imagine, in terms of tourism, hey, wishing you were here, come visit Asbestos, it wasn't as popular over the years, and so the town decided to have a contest to come up with some names and have the people vote on it to change the name. Now, this was not without controversy. Some of the old-timers there did not want to change the name at all. Quoting one person, "I was born in asbestos and I will die in asbestos." Well, if you work the mines, that is definitely true. That's definitely what happened there. But they did pick a new name. They began the competition November of last year, and they voted recently. And people as young as 14 could vote to choose the new name. And the names that they chose, and I want to just keep in mind that this is Quebec, and I do not speak French. The possible selections were L'Azur des Cantons, Geoffrey sur des Lacs, La Chouelle, Phoenix, Troy Locks. But the name that they settled on was, my friends, after over 7,000 votes, with 51% of votes in, Val de Source was the name of the new name they'll be getting in December. To quote the town's mayor, Hugh Grimard, the name that represents our area, and especially it's inspiring for the future. So, new name voted on. Apparently, was a very hotly contested election. A lot of folks love the name, but a lot of fights over the name. But that's the new name with a bare minimum 51% majority. That's the new name if you go visit up there in Quebec. A lot of the problem also with that name, Asbestos, is that when they would send mail to the United States from Asbestos, Canada, the mail would often be open or sent back because people thought it was full of poisonous materials. So they were having problems with their mail also. Now, friends, we go to Kiawah Island, South Carolina, where an extremely rare white baby sea turtle was hatched and crawled into the ocean. A white baby sea turtle suffers from a disease like an albinoism in animals. Happens in almost any animals. You'll see a pure white version of that animal. Usually, they do not have a very easy life because since they're all white, they don't blend into the background very well. So that's like in terms of hiding from predators, hard to do it. They often have poor eyesight, pink eyes. They have no pigment in any of their skin, and they have a fair amount of health issues. And sometimes they are ignored by their fellow species because they don't look like them. Other times they're very well protected and adopted. And in some cultures, an albino animal is considered to be special, good luck, worship. So when these do occur, it's usually a big event, both scientifically and in some areas rather culturally. But in South Carolina, no one had ever seen a white baby sea turtle before. The condition is called leucism. Is when the animals have reduced pigmentation. This baby sea turtle was all white, had a few black spots on it, which is common sometimes in this case. But they took a bunch of pictures, and then they released it into the ocean to be a baby sea turtle. Hopefully, it will be able to avoid predators. But it was quite a treat to everyone who goes down there, and it actually is an event every year, or whenever there's the season for baby sea turtle hatchings. That volunteers will go down there. They'll clear the beach of any predators and help these baby sea turtles without picking them up and moving them down, but like sort of guide them into the ocean to help the species protect itself. So these very, very dedicated volunteers, and you know what? They got quite a treat of seeing this white baby sea turtle. So while a baby sea turtle that's completely white is exceedingly rare, what is common, what is often, and what is always a guarantee is my boy DC with his show every Friday and Sunday. DC live in effect here on AWSM Radio. He is AWSM Radio's in-house DJ. He mixes it up every Friday night at 9 p.m. and every Sunday at 10 p.m. You do not want to miss. You don't want to miss out while he is smashing it on the ones and twos, kicking the beats from his South Florida compound. Baby sea turtles there. If they're on the beach while he is doing a set, they don't leave the beach. They sit there, they wait, they listen to DC, and then they go into the ocean. So when there's a baby sea turtle hatching, legally, he's not allowed to play. But fortunately, he will be on the air this week, Friday at 9 p.m., Sunday at 10 p.m. You do not want to miss it out. Listen to him on AWSM Radio online or through the app. I guarantee you, my friends, it is a very good time. Now from the beaches of South Florida to space, where NASA has said it has successfully collected a sample of rocks from an asteroid. That's right. They launched the OSIRIS-REx mission. They send a satellite probe up there to get real close to an asteroid, not exactly land on it, but float above it, extend a long boom hose down to the bottom, and apparently they squirt some nitrogen onto the ground, pull up some dirt, and then you kind of use a vacuum cleaner to suck up rocks and minerals and materials back up to the probe and hopefully bring it back to Earth for analysis. Now, they don't know exactly how much that they got, but they feel confident that they were able to get it back into the probe and bring it back to Earth. This will be the largest sample of extraterrestrial sample since the Apollo astronauts gathered rocks from the moon over 50 years ago. Even if just a small amount would be pretty impressive. So basically, this is I thought they landed until I read the story, but basically they just sort of hovered above it, this giant asteroid, and then got close enough to just sort of vacuum clean the bottom of it and pull the boom back up and collected a sample. Now, this is very important in several reasons. First, the asteroid is probably 4 billion years old, and so they're going to know a lot about it by analyzing the rocks there that have gone untouched for so long, been just flying through space. Second, there's a lot of talk about mining asteroids for rare minerals, okay? We only have so many minerals here on Earth. Once we're out, we're out. But if they could send probes to successfully collect samples from asteroids to analyze and figure out what the asteroid is made of, this could open up a whole new realm of asteroid mining. Like, listen, we are way off from this. This is just conceptual, okay? They can't just land on everyone started mining. The first part is being able to successfully collect samples and bring them back cheaply to see what is on these particular asteroids. So it's a first baby step, but in the first step in the direction of what possibly could be a whole industry of sending probes up to bring back minerals to Earth. I mean, you'd have to have these big spacecraft to do it if it's going to be worth your time to go up there. Another interesting thing is that the on the spacecraft they had a plaque honoring Dr. Michael J. Drake, who contributed a lot to the science that went into this, but he passed away in 2011, just a few months after this mission was approved. So you can see how long it takes space missions to get going. And they had a little plaque on the spacecraft to honor him, which I thought was very, very nice. Also, just so you know, the asteroid that they landed on was an asteroid named Bennu. It is approximately 510 meters big. Just for comparison, the Eiffel Tower is 324 meters, and the Empire State Building is 443 meters. It's a big rock, and we do not want that rock to be striking the Earth. So don't worry, it's not, but it's a significant thing. So it's still, compared to the rest of space, really tiny. So very impressive they were able to get that spacecraft get close enough, not crash into it, and suck up some space dirt and some space rocks. But very impressive from NASA. I'm looking forward to them getting that probe back and analyzing what was actually on that rock. Next, folks, we go to the wide world of streaming video, where unfortunately we've lost one this week. Quibi, a short-form mobile streaming service promising quick bites. That's what it's named, Quibi, so short for quick bites. Short 10-minute episodes. Said it was shutting down this week because, well, it just was not doing too well. It was a subscription service launched earlier this year, promising 10-minute shows that people would watch while they were out and about, like walking or in a car or on the train and whatnot. Unfortunately, pandemic hit and everyone stayed at home. It was a subscription service. You had to pay to watch these videos, and it raised $1.75 billion with a B, $1 billion, blew through that money, and now they're out of money, and they were unable to sell itself to any major companies. They weren't really interested. A lot of these places have their own streaming services in-house as it is, and they are folding. They are going up against YouTube, who has a lot of short-form content, not to mention other major streaming services like Hulu and Netflix. They couldn't quite get the traction. They also spent a ton of money hiring big-name stars. These are just some of the people who had shows on Quibi. Chrissy Teigen, LeBron James, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Reese Witherspoon, Chance the Rapper, Kevin Hart, Jennifer Lopez, Idris Elba, Zac Efron, Tina Fey, Liam Hemsworth, Joe Jonas, Sophie Turner. They're even able to lure like Steven Spielberg and Ridley Scott to make series. Lawrence Fishburne, Lawrence Fishburne was on there, and those are not some cheap names. Those are not cheap names. And they weren't able to make enough money to sustain that, unfortunately. The Quibi CEO, Meg Whitman, who is former chief of Hewlett-Packard, wasn't able to manage the ship very well. It kept adding support to Apple AirPlay and Google and be able to stream it onto other devices, but they just couldn't get enough subscriptions of people wanting to watch the shows. Unfortunately, this leaves a lot of people kind of in limbo. Like, up until last month, they had series about to go, like prepping for series to go. People were ready to start shooting and starting series, and now the rug has been pulled out from under them. So I feel bad for these creators. I hope they got paid in advance. But this is one of the shortest-lived streaming services, only 6 months. Imagine blowing through almost $2 billion in 6 months. I mean, hey, I guess that's the dream, right? I know. I tell you what, I wish I had $1 billion to blow through. Holy moly, that's a lot of money for something that just did not work out. So, my friends, if you are thinking about subscribing to Quibi, don't, because by the time you hear this, if you're hearing this right now, either live on AWSM radio or on my website, chances are the service is no longer available. Next, friends, we go to the arts, where a missing painting, a painting that's been missing for 60 years, was recently found. A very fascinating story. It was by renowned artist Jacob Lawrence, who was widely recognized as the first famous black artist in the United States. He passed away in 2000. He did a series of 30 panels, 30 paintings, telling the history of the United States, early history from 1776 to 1817. And some of these in this series, they're missing. The collection is called Struggle, from the History of the American People. Like I said, it represents historical moments from 1775 to 1817. 5 of them were missing. There's a set of 30. When they displayed them, they would put empty frames there. to represent the paintings that were missing. And they had been lost. They had moved. No one knew where they were. This one that they found depicted the Washington putting down Shays' Rebellion. It was an uprising of farmers in Massachusetts following the Revolutionary War. Very famous uprising rebellion. And this panel was missing. Well, my friends, a neighbor who frequently went to the Metropolitan Museum saw this painting missing, saw the other paintings, and had a neighbor who had a painting hanging up in their apartment that looked really, really similar to these other paintings. And he went to the neighbor and said, "Hey, buddy, I think you have this missing painting." So they contacted the museum. The museum sent the curators out to take a look at this painting. And wouldn't you know it, this painting is one of the missing panels of this series. Now, a lot of times when a painting goes missing, it's stolen or misplaced or mislabeled. None of that case. This painting was legally bought in the 60s at an auction at the museum to help raise money for a music school. And, they didn't keep very good records back then. They don't really know where the painting went. So this person legally owns the painting. He didn't steal it. He can hang it up in his apartment all he wants. However, due to the historic nature of the painting, in exchange for keeping his identity anonymous, because the painting is worth millions of dollars, he is going to loan the painting to the collection. So the collection is going to be traveling around the United States for a few years. The painting is going to be on long-term loan to the museum so they can display it with the other paintings. He's going to retain ownership of it, and I guess when he passes away, bequeath it to relatives or give it back to the museum, and which I think is pretty great. Like if I had a multi-million-dollar painting, I would probably, I don't know if I wanted to send it around the United States and hoping to get it back. Definitely put out an insurance policy on it and whatnot. But it's a very, very nice thing for them to do, so this painting can be fully appreciated with its brother and sister panels displayed around. 4 panels, however, of this 30-panel series still missing. They still do not quite know where they went. Hopefully they turn up. Hopefully this story will get some interest up into it, and maybe someone else has the painting hanging down in their man cave, and wow, that's that painting, and it'll turn up soon, and it'd be really great if this story somehow caused the other 4 to arrive, so the set will be once again reunited. This great painting by Jacob Lawrence, renowned artist in the United States, and I just think it's amazing. It was hanging in an apartment in New York City, blocks from the museum for 60 years, and they never had a clue. Never had a clue that this was a missing painting. Now, you may not have a missing renowned painting in your home, my friends, but what you are missing Monday through Friday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. is the Rock Sessions here on AWSM Radio. The Rock Sessions is a drive time show making sure to make that evening commute home fun, featuring the hottest music on the charts and some surprises in between, hosted by my good personal friend, Rox. She will make it rock, Rox style. She is not to be missed. You can listen to her every Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. on AWSM Radio, online, or listen, friends, if you're driving home, you gotta get the app. Get the app. Listen to her. It is well worth your time. It's a great show. I enjoy it whenever I'm commuting back and forth, which isn't often, but when I am, I'm listening to my pal Rox on the Rock Sessions here on AWSM Radio. Now, friends, we go on to sports, to the NFL. Is that ESPN? Anyways, the Washington football team, formerly known as the Washington Redskins, had to change its name. So this year they officially went by the Washington football team. Perfect for 2020. They couldn't decide the name, so they just said what it was, the Washington football team. Well, my friends, you may have heard it here first, so this might be breaking news to you, but in 2021, the Washington football team will be known as the Washington football team. Yes. Apparently, they are not in any rush to change the name of the team, and, 2021 is coming pretty quickly. They might be the Washington football team again, and chances are they will be the Washington football team again. I guess the whole branding and making a merchandise thing is a time-consuming thing, I guess. So I guess they need to make a decision soon, but even if they make that decision, it's not going to be ready until next year, so they might just be the Washington football team again next year. And if they keep dragging their feet, it might be even longer. Not a fan of the team. Sorry, my WFTs. Oh, almost. My WFT friends out there. But they can't decide on a name. And a lot of fans are blaming the owner about this. So, yeah. So, the name that gets being kicked around a bit, that I've seen online, is the Washington Red Wolves, which, not a bad name for a team. Red Wolves, you get very clever with that. You can start howling in the stands. Lots of fun costumes. You could get some furries. The furry community might really appreciate that. So it could be it. I also think, the Washington Senators, if you play the whole, DC connection, would be very good too. You get very creative with costumes there. But if I had to guess, it's probably going to be the Washington Red Wolves. There's a lot of amateur and provisional graphics out there. It doesn't look too bad. So, to all my Washington football team fans out there, I'm sorry that next year you may be the Washington football team again. But soon enough, my friends, you'll have a new name, new merchandise, and, I'm sure you'll be as good as you are now. Next, friends, we go to the North Pole Santa's Workshop. For the first time in 159 years, Santa Claus will not be coming to Macy's this year to listen to the wishes and wants of young children due to, once again, COVID-19 ruining things for everyone. It just is too dangerous to have a bunch of random children sitting on Santa's lap. No real way to keep it to be COVID-friendly, COVID-safe. Can't put him behind, plexiglass and whatnot. But it's a shame. I mean, Santa's been coming to the store since 1861. Been there every year since then. They're trying to replicate it by having a virtual engagement so you can log in online with Santa over streaming services. It's a shame. It's a shame that they can't do that in Macy's. A lot of malls will not be having Santa visit this year. Some are, but Santa will be behind plexiglass, and you'll have to talk to him behind plexiglass. Not unlike visiting someone who's doing 30 to life. But he will be available in some areas. There's a sort of a drive-up window experience and whatnot. But listen, friends, you might be worried that Santa is not going to know if you're good or bad this year. Well, I'll tell you what. Here at AWSM Radio, this is one of the primary reasons why they hired me. I have a direct line with the big man, Santa Claus. Yes, that's right, boys and girls. If you haven't seen me online on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, you should follow me there. I have a long red beard, so Santa and I, we go to the same beard guy, okay? We go to the same beard guy. We have the same beard guy. His name is Chuck. Very nice guy. I ran into Santa this week while getting my weekly touch-up, and I said, Santa, I heard you're not going to Macy's. Santa said, ho, 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 I'm not going to Macy's, but I'm still watching everyone. That's right, folks. Santa Claus is still watching you. He knows when you're sleeping. I believe he's pretty aware when you're awake. So, my friends, young and old, for goodness sake, you better be good. You better be good. It's been a really rough year. You don't want coal in your stocking, okay? Just because Santa is not at the Macy's national flagship store does not mean he's not paying attention to you, okay? You got the elf on the shelf. You got, got satellites, you got, the CIA. Santa is well aware of what you are doing. And don't let him not going to Macy's deter you from being good this year, all right? So I just wanted to pass along that message to all my younger listeners here on AWSM Radio. I'm sure I have one or two. 2,000 probably. I mean, or millions. Really, I don't know. Probably that's a lot. Anyways, don't matter how old you are, Santa's watching. Talk to him myself. But you will not see him at Macy's in New York City. But, you know, with ordering online as popular as it is, you could probably send him an email. And he'll probably get back to you. It'll probably a whole lot easier, and also a whole lot better to stay safe. Because you don't want COVID. You don't want Santa to get COVID-19, do you? No. I mean, yes, he's old, high risk population. So, and the reindeer, they can't be getting it either. So, just be safe for everyone. Send Santa an email, and do your shopping online this year. Moving along. Though I had mentioned an art story earlier in this episode, I'm going to mention another one. Banksy, that mysteriously unknown artist who I mentioned in a previous episode, losing a copyright battle. One of his paintings sold for nearly $10 million. $10 million. His was painted in 2005. It's called Show Me the Monet. It was a send-up from Claude Monet's Bridge Over a Pond of Water Lilies, painted in 1899, and he painted in 2005, almost an exact replica. He vandalized it as in painted differently to reflect how life is now. So while the original painting was a bridge over a pond of water lilies, it's the same thing, except inside that pond are two grocery carts and a floating orange cone, signifying that, pollution and whatnot. But it sold for just shy of $10 million at Sotheby's, nearly twice what they thought it would sell for. The estimated price was going to be between $4 and $6.5 million, but it ended up being $9.9 million. The world record for a Banksy painting, however, is called Devolved Parliament. It was painted in 2009. It depicts the House of Commons in the United Kingdom being being filled with chimpanzees. Quite the statement. Quite the statement on the state of things. That painting is also, you should really look up. It's all these chimpanzees in Parliament, and they all look very serious. Like, should I have a banana today or raise taxes? I don't know. If I had $12 million, I definitely would want to get one of these. It just for me, it's funny, and it's painted by Banksy, world famous artist. So one of his paintings went for a whole lot of money. I don't know if he sees the proceeds to any of these paintings. I don't think he does. I don't know. It's a very mysterious of how he operates. And for operating this, he's been unknown for 15, 20 years. There's lots of, rumors and suggestions on who he is, but I don't think anyone knows exactly for sure who he is. He might be several people, for all you know. But once again, one of his paintings going for a whole ton of money. And boy, I wish I was rich. I'd get a Banksy painting. I'd be down here in my studio filled with Banksy paintings of chimpanzees sitting in various seats of government. That's the life, right? Well, that just about wraps up this week's Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor. And you know what, folks? This is the 12th show I have done here on AWSM Radio. And I started in early August here and I've enjoyed every single week coming to you with my fun little news stories. And I hope you've enjoyed them as much as I have enjoyed bringing them to you. So I just want to take this time to thank all of the fantastic people at AWSM Radio for having me on and enjoying my show and giving me some feedback to make this the best show possible for you. And of course, thanking all of you, my friends, out there listening live on the internet via computer app or motorized pigeon, however you get your internet. And hey, they say the first 12 is the hardest, and I'm looking forward to bringing many more episodes to you. So, just as a reminder, you can find your favorite redhead on Twitter, Rizzle, and Instagram at Colt S. Taylor. Please hit me up there, follow me there. If you think there's a news story I should follow, let me know. If there's one you didn't like, you can let me know there. And of course, if you need a daily source of news, check out my website at ColtSebastianTaylor.com. Follow me there for all of my adventures on there, everything I do on the side. It's really the website. You should really just bookmark it. Save yourself some trouble. Visit it, weekly. And all past episodes of my show are uploaded there roughly early in the week after Sunday. And if you missed one, you can listen to it there. Until next time, my friends, I am Colt Sebastian Taylor, and I'll see you later.